All right. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, my pleasure. Why don't you quickly introduce to everyone who you are?
Hello, I'm Jasmine. I am the creator of Thumper and also an adult content creator myself. So yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I was saying, to the guys, we always talked about getting an OnlyFans creator on here, and we thought who better than Thumper, because we had seen what you guys had done, and we thought it was so interesting and different in the industry.
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is actually really cool. We were saying that last time to the two of your creators on your platform. But what I'd like to do today is take you back to the beginning of your journey so we can hear how this Thumper idea came to life. So can you take us back to when content creation started for you?
COVID.
Yep.
Yeah, COVID. I think it was the beginning of a lot of people's OnlyFans journeys.
Yep.
It was a dark and stormy night.
We get into those fake stories.
And it was just really spontaneous.
Yeah.
So spontaneous. I did not have a thought of what I was really doing. I just was fascinated by it. I was fascinated seeing, I can't remember who inspired me, but you know, lots of people were starting to do it, and I just thought I'd make an account, and I didn't expect anyone to subscribe. I didn't really think anyone would want to. Yeah. I didn't really have that confidence, you know. I just made it in case anyone could just spare me an extra 20,
some lockdown pocket change.
Some lockdown pocket change. Seriously, that's what it was. Yeah. And I had a boyfriend at the time, and you know he was cool with it. I asked him, he said, like why not? And I made it. And I ended up seeing more money than I have in my life. And it
from the beginning?
From the beginning. Yeah, like everyone from high school.
That's what Amara said last time when we had her. It's just all the people who actually knew.
Yeah, everyone that knew me, obviously. Because I didn't have a social media presence except for my high school Facebook and Instagram, all my friends and family. So I just promoted on that. And I actually did pretty well. So, can't blame them. They've probably been waiting to see that for a long time.
I love it. They're all spending their wage subsidies on OnlyFans, right?
Seriously,
that's what all the kids were doing back in those days, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was though, right? Like people in the US, they got their stimulus checks and everything. And
exactly. Everyone had a little extra money and everyone was horny. And,
everyone was bored at home horny.
Bored at home. Like, seriously, think about it. People would just be so deprived and, couldn't see me at school anymore, so at least I was online.
Yeah. How old were you at the time?
I was 18. Yeah.
So it's fresh out of school.
Fresh out of school. I was actually in beauty school.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, so it was just spontaneous, and then it ended up doing amazing. And so I didn't really think it'd become like a full-time career thing, but it just ended up.
It just did that, right? It just rode the wave.
Yeah. I just rode the wave. That's the best way to put it. Yeah. And then I decided I wanted to really focus on it, and then
Can you take me back a bit? So when you started, had you because your TikTok blew up, or had that blown up by that stage or afterwards?
It was way after, actually.
Wow, funny.
Way after. It was a learning journey. I just started, and I didn't know how to keep it going and keep it afloat. It was really just the people from high school what's going on. But obviously you need to always be bringing in new people, because no one's going to stay subscribed forever. And I just did some research, and I decided Reddit was a good place to promote, and so I started posting on Reddit. And then the thing is, I didn't know how to use Reddit. I just made one post. I went to sleep and I woke up and it went viral.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my first Reddit post. It got to the top of the subreddit I posted it, and I woke up with 30 new subscribers, which was quite a lot. That's quite a lot, for going from not much.
From one post.
Yeah, from one post. That was a lot of subs.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, so you can use Reddit like this? Like it does this? And then I just started focusing on that, and I became really big on Reddit. And then I decided Reddit was just a cesspool, so I didn't really want that to be my main source. And that's when I explored TikTok, and that started doing really well.
Interesting. That's quite funny. I've never heard anyone go from Reddit to TikTok.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
I know.
And it's kind of funny. It's kind of like us. Very few people have heard people going from LinkedIn to TikTok, which is what we did.
Yeah.
It's hey, right? It's kind of a similar journey thing where it's we were going hard on LinkedIn, not making OnlyFans content, but doing what we were doing.
Yeah, of course.
And then we jumped onto TikTok real late.
Yeah.
Actually, we were way later than even they knew, 2 years later. But that's so interesting to go from Reddit, because Reddit did become that, right?
Yeah, it was good because that's what I didn't know what else to use.
Yeah.
It was, it was just a place I could post, and then it ended up doing really well. But then I just realized that the whole platform is just like filled with a lot of questionable
it's quite unfiltered, right?
Very unfiltered, and
anonymous.
it's not very anonymous,
Yeah.
very unsafe because of it's not actually regulated that well.
Nah.
It's it's run by the mods, and it can just be anyone. So it's just I like to stay away.
Was that going on Reddit quite useful, given like all your other subs had come from people you know, and now these are like people you wouldn't even have done, right?
So that's where it really kickstarted me into believing in myself more, to be growing to new people. That it's expanded my journey a lot. And possibilities. Yeah. And then I realized TikTok is just so much better. Yeah, so much better. The conversion, the reach, the algorithm. Yeah.
And at that time in 2020, it was like you did really ride a wave, right? There was a lot of girls on there, or not just girls, but a lot of creators on there who were then taking people from TikTok to OnlyFans. Like that was the pathway.
It was the pathway. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
But the thing with TikTok is like now that I feel like they're really cracking down on it, and it's really difficult to promote as a creator, because they're just obviously they're like watching, monitoring, and the bigger they grow, the bigger the teams and moderators grow, and they're just they don't want people using it for that reason.
It's harder to get people from there to any other platform. Like we've noticed that too. Like it's hard to take people not just from TikTok. Oh, we haven't tried to take them to OnlyFans, but taking them from TikTok to even Instagram or Facebook. Even getting them to another platform.
It's getting hard now. The conversion is actually getting harder. Yeah. It was easier before, but now I'm realizing it's just like people want to stay on TikTok because they just want to keep scrolling. They don't want to leave.
No, they don't want to leave. And also like even like clicking on the link, like it's not a seamless process. No, because it like purposely delays its load time. You often have to like open it in a browser. Like we try to launch a like a chatbot service kind of thing, of like a community chatbot sort of thing from Facebook Messenger with a company that we're working with. Yeah. And you couldn't even open it through the link in the bio. They just like TikTok just wouldn't let you do it.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's so great of them.
Right. So I remember so in 2020, obviously in lockdown, scrolling through TikTok and stuff like that, I remember seeing your TikToks come through and realizing that like this was a Kiwi person. Because at the time, like you had a video, and it was the last time I sort of saw it at that time, because I didn't really jump on TikTok again until 2022.
I kind of forget how many people have seen my TikToks, like how many people it must reach.
Crazy. No, it was crazy because like I remember it was like in the millions of views. Yeah. So you had a few videos that went off. Yeah. And there was barely anyone who was posting. And actually a lot of the people that I've met in this podcast, like Aluka, when she came on the podcast, I was like, she's only like 50-something thousand followers or something. Most of them grew over 2020. But I was like, I remember you from that because there was barely any. So you saw Kiwi on there, right? And you're like, you can tell?
You can tell. Yeah.
So anyway, those millions of view videos, my actual question is, what did they do for subs? Like when you have a video that gets like 5 million views or something like
that would get me like... a lot of subs.
Like just give us ballparks. Like it doesn't is it in the thousands or hundreds?
Yeah, thousands of subs.
That's crazy.
Thousands of subs. Yeah. The conversion rate would be really crazy from millions of views. So
shit. And you had quite a few big videos, right?
Oh, it was off. Like my TikTok was really popping off. Like,
because where were you at your peak on TikTok in terms of follower count?
I got up to like 1.8 million, and then it got banned.
Yeah.
But that's okay, RIP.
So tell me about that. Like before we get into the next stage of the journey, like when it got banned, I mean, one, that's shit.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Like how was that from a business perspective?
Of course it was like, business wise, it was actually fine because like, I had very loyal subs and it actually took a while before so I was really depressed when it happened. Yeah. Let's just say that I was just really heartbroken. That was an account I spent so many hours on. It wasn't really just my work account, it was also like my personal account. Like I had so many mutuals on that. Like so many celebrities were my mutuals. Like Mia Khalifa followed me. I love she was my girl. Like,
that's awesome.
We're TikTok mutuals.
Yeah, that's great.
And because I made fun of her on a TikTok.
Oh,
like,
funny.
but in a good, like, in
Okay,
a nice way.
in a good
Yeah,
way,
in a nice way, like
humorous way.
banter. And then she followed me for it. And just like heaps of, other creators that I really looked up to. I just felt like I built like a really solid and fun and good community over like the years that I was using that account.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the most heartbreaking part.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
Cool.
losing all those followers. It was actually just losing like the kind of, the attachment I had with that account, because obviously I did spend a lot of time on that account, not just creating, but like, engaging and interacting, and for that to just be like taken away from you, all that, like it was just so weird. It was just like this weird feeling. And I just didn't really have the motivation to even like want to go on TikTok ever again.
Okay.
I was like, had beef with TikTok. I was like,
I can imagine.
I brought them so much views, and
exactly.
that's how they treat me.
Yeah.
So
it is true. I've never heard anyone say it like that before, actually. That's quite true.
Like, I was doing them solid, like a huge solid. I thought we were bros. And and then they just like took it away. Yeah. And so I had this like resentment towards TikTok, and I actually like didn't start making TikToks until like months after. Yeah. Because I just couldn't do it. Like I was kind of like in denial, and like starting a new TikTok would mean that my old one really is gone. Yeah. And so it took months before like I actually felt an impact on my business, because I just had so many subscribers, and I obviously got so much reach and exposure from my TikTok and the millions of followers I had, that it was kind of just like sustaining itself. So it was fine in that sense. It was just like, personally, that was the worst part. But then it just started when I started to notice it was getting slower. Then I just started. That's when I started actually putting effort in again, and it was fine. Yeah.
Do you remember? Was there like a specific thing that got it banned?
It was. I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
It was. I just know over the years I was using it, I did have like quite a few community violations, and I think it's just, if you have so many, it can just make your account. It just you really don't know. But it wasn't a specific video. No.
Were your videos like? Were they borderline, or was it like community violations
really,
from in the
you
comments?
Ask anyone, and it was like really fine. Like there's so much worse that's actually allowed on TikTok today. Like that's on TikTok. Yeah. I just think it's a sex worker thing. Like it's targeted at OnlyFans girls, and they just really are
trying to shift them off that platform, right? Just doing what they can. Okay. Okay. So when you started like Reddit. And so just going back to that bit, were you at a point going viral on that like you were in the hundreds or in the thousands of subscribers by that stage before you got to TikTok?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, okay. So that blew up properly.
Reddit was changed my life. Yeah, Reddit changed my life.
So that was it.
Yeah, it was it. Reddit was great. But then I actually just started having more fun with TikTok. Yeah,
cool.
And then the conversion rate was just so much better.
And then that just went off the rails.
Yeah, it just made it like crazy. Yeah. Like, but Reddit really like, it did me a solid. Yeah.
So like along that journey, so that's like sort of 2020, right? By end of 2020, you're already, or 2021, it started to really take off. When was the real? When would you say like? When was the moment that you're like, okay, there's no turning back ever again?
It was after my first Reddit post. Yeah.
Oh, so was that one when you saw that?
Yeah, it was after my first Reddit post. I was like, actually, no, this is sustainable. Yeah.
Okay. Just keep doing that.
Yeah. I didn't realize that I was hot until Reddit. Okay, I really didn't realize it. I didn't realize that other people found me so. Yeah. I didn't really know my own sex appeal, or like know my own strength in that until Reddit, Yeah. And so that's when I realized I could do it.
I think that's quite cool. Like I've talked about that a lot with like not just OnlyFans, but like social media. And what it's done is like there is, I mean, it doesn't all have to come down to looks, but like there's someone for everyone. Like as in like, and what it means is that everyone who thinks they're got nothing to add or value.
Someone out there. There's
millions. There's millions of people who love it.
Exactly. Yeah. There's literally 1 billion people on the earth, and everyone is aroused, and everyone is turned on, and everyone thinks by some of the random stuff as well. Like you don't know what someone could be attracted to. Yeah. Even like you don't know yourself what you're attracted to until you are attracted to it. Yeah. So it's just anyone can really do it. Yeah. There's something for everyone. Exactly.
And so along that journey of OnlyFans, like tell me how that was. Like, so you're going through it. You got all these subscribers coming on. I mean, the money would have been a big motivator at that time in your life because you're 18. And so like, how many 18-year-olds have got all this sort of money coming through? Yeah. But like, what was that journey like? Like outside of like, so there would have been, I guess it would have been quite polarizing in your view, right? Like it would have been something awesome because of the success. But was there like things that were happening, like you said, Reddit was getting a bit cesspool? Were there subscribers doing stuff like how was that building
it
that
actually
community?
wasn't too bad.
Cool.
Not gonna lie.
Okay.
I feel like most of my fan base and subscribers are like huge simps.
Cool.
I didn't really face much hate. Like I was actually surprised. Like I was like ready. I was mentally prepared to like, you know, to go to ball, but it just wasn't. No one was really giving me a hard time. It was super easy.
Yeah.
Family was super easy. Friends super easy, supportive.
Yeah.
I just received a lot of positive response, which also was like a motivator. Like I don't think it was just the money. It was just like everyone was really like encouraging me. I just got such good feedback for what I was doing, and like everyone was really happy with the content I was creating, which motivated me to keep going. Because I actually like found a passion for like creating really beautiful videos or images, and then like seeing how happy that made people, and like seeing how just like the good response from it was also really like, it felt good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it just felt good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so then tell me, like, when did the idea for going more than just you creating content, like when did this idea of Thumper start? How did you come up with that? How old were you? Like 19, 20 something?
No, it was actually, I was 20.
Yeah,
I was 20. And I got was it a TV? A TV series, the spin-off. Okay. I think it was a spin-off. Yeah, the spin-off.
Yeah.
They reached out to me and they wanted to do a bit on, you know, talking about my success. And they actually asked me a question that was also, what's next?
Yeah.
And that's actually what made me think, because I didn't really think about like what's next until they asked me that. And then I was like, I can do like so much more with my platform.
Yeah.
Like you know, if there's anyone to do something about the problems in this industry, it should be me.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot to speak on it, and I actually do have a huge passion like for this industry, and like you know, I really believe in it. And that's kind of when it started. I was like, oh wait, I actually can like do something about it. Like I can actually leave a mark and leave like, you know, something different behind than when I came in. Yeah. So that's where it came from. Yeah, that sparked the
That's
fire
quite cool.
in me. Yeah.
Like it was so like up until that point,
you're
just like sort of got riding the wave still.
Yeah, riding the wave. And then I realized I was like, oh, like you know, I was just like back down here, and then I realized, oh wait, I'm actually like, I'm up here now, so I can like, you know, do something about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's only sort of so far you can climb, right?
Yeah.
Until you have to change lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so that question happened, and then you're like, well, actually, I want to change. Tell me, how does a 20-year-old realize that? Like, you didn't just say, because right there you just said to me, and whether or not that's what you're thinking at the time, but you just said, I thought I could change the industry, that I was the right person to do it. Not, I could change tech to make more money. Or I could do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's interesting, right? Like, how does a 20-year-old think that way? Like, what made you? What was it that caused you to think like that?
Because I really love everyone in my industry. Like I love everyone I work with, and I found like the coolest people through it. Yeah. And I've just had such a positive experience in this industry. Like I've just had a great time. Yeah. And everyone wants to shit on it, and it's just like it frustrates me a lot. Yeah. Because I'm just like you just don't know the half of it. Like you can't, unless you're in our shoes, you just can't. Yeah. You have no idea what it's like. You'll never know what it's like. And I think that's where it just comes from. I just want to like. I want people to just realize it's just like a normal job, like it's a normal career, just like making YouTube videos or being a Twitch streamer or, you know, making podcasts. Like it's just entertainment. It's creative energy. It's, you know, embracing sexuality, and it's not something to demonize. Yeah. And I always have felt very passionate about that. Yeah. Because I've always been fascinated by this industry. Like I always knew this was something I wanted to actually be in. Yeah. And I think I just have a very different perspective on it than most of society. So, yeah, that's where it comes from. Yeah,
that's cool. I love it. It's cool to hear because, like, these guys know, because, like, the reason why we wanted to get you guys in here is because I've always said, I've always been so fascinated by not just the industry, but, like, I'm like a business person, right? Like, I love business. Like, everything I do is always get into business. So everything about this this industry, all facets of it, I've always been fascinated by. And I've been watching closely like the story that, well, at first I guess it started really with like Patreon kind of stuff where it started, but then it kind of didn't really take off there until OnlyFans. And I think it was a perfect storm with pandemic and TikTok and all the things.
Yeah, it really has changed a lot.
Changed so much, right? And I loved how like it then like democratized the industry, where like because like all you'd hear on the porn industry or sex workers, it's just exploitation. Was all it was about.
Exactly. And that's what the cool part about OnlyFans is that you actually have the control like of what content you want to create, when you want to create it, who you want to create it with. And it's just it's changed the industry so much. It's given a lot of sex workers a lot more freedom and control,
right? That's the main thing, like their own control, not being controlled by others to do the things that they need to do. Which I thought was awesome. And then like the other thing about it too, it's not that they just got control, like that they all just made bank, like like all the ones who are doing well anyway, but even some of the smaller ones, like I remember in like 2020 my mum works at a bank now. It's like sort of her retirement gig, and it's in the North Shore, and she would have like multiple girls like come in and like have to get advice like moving stuff around. And she's like, where's this money coming? Like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I do OnlyFans. She's like, that last check last month was like $30,000, and like, and then the next one's like 60,000, and like, and I would just get these checks.
I always like wonder like the people at the banks like why is this 20-year-old like making this much money? Stupid money, right?
Which is awesome.
I always think about that.
Well, I'll tell you what they do is they go home and they tell their sons. That's what they do. They're like, so this young girl came into like, so if you ever went to the Silverdale bank, you might have seen my mum. No, so next thing I was going to ask is like, so that happened and Thumper started, but before that, like you keep talking about how positive your experience was, like.
Yeah, but that's not the same case for everyone.
No, of course it's not. Of course it's not. And even like the guys a few weeks ago from your team, like they had some other stories for themselves that were some ups and downs, right?
Exactly.
But like, if you didn't have many lows, like you must have had really high highs, right? Because like it's just there, like it's only up. So like, what were those big highs? Like, what were some of the things that just made you fall in love with it even further?
That's a hard question because there's so many different things. I would say my favorite part is just playing dress ups. Yeah, I love playing dress ups and then being able to create looks and just creating stuff that no one. I love to just be unique. Like I love to make sure I'm doing the most like stuff that I don't see or like looks that I don't see other people doing. Cool. I really like to have my unique style. Yeah. And that's one of my favorite things, is when that goes well. And also when I'm dancing, my dancing TikToks. That's probably my favorite part. Like when those go viral, it feels really good because I love dancing. And then it also kind of like it kills two birds with one stone because I'm like doing something I love and then that's converting into subscribers too. To getting paid. To getting paid. So it's really cool. Like that's really cool.
So it kind of sounds like, when you walked into our studio today, like you were like, well, I wouldn't say geeking out, but you're like really impressed with like, you're geeking out. Let's say that. You're geeking out about the studio, right? And like all the stuff. Cool, and so it kind of makes me think like it's like you're obviously super creative. Yeah. And it's that like need to be able to express yourself in whatever way, and you've just found your channel.
Oh, it's so cool. Yeah, exactly. And I really can do it in any way I want. I just love the freedom I have. Yeah. I can really create whatever I want, whenever I want. Yeah. And it's just so fun and it feels really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Tell me now, okay, so I might have just like fast forward all the way to your 20. So you had the spin-off interview. They asked you that question. How long from that point to you going, no, I've got it? Was it pretty fast, or did it take a little while? Yeah.
No, it was pretty fast. Yeah. It was just really fast.
Yeah. Is that just how your brain works? Like once it gets hooked on saying it, just the whole thing forms?
Yeah. I was just like, okay, what do I need to do?
Proper entrepreneur. Like
I was just like, okay, next steps, like just get it going. And
could already see the future of what it would be.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
I just knew.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just knew, and I asked my friends. And I got everyone together. Yeah. I was like, guys, what do you think about this idea? Yeah. And everyone was just like, woo! And I was like, yay! And then I started it. Yeah. It was just I needed that, that encouragement. Yeah. And then I went and did it.
Kind of like at the beginning when you first started putting stuff out, right? People started subscribing. Same encouragement. They gave you affirmation that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, cool. And so you decided to start it. So tell me, like, at that point, when was it? What was the...
November
is when we launched. Last year.
Yeah.
And how long before that had you figured it out?
It was probably 6 months.
Okay, 6 months, yeah. And then it was just about getting all the pieces into place.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you didn't half-ass it. Right? Like you didn't.
I did put a lot of effort into it.
You went into it properly.
Yeah, I wanted to do everything properly.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like just professional.
Yeah.
And proper, because I obviously want people to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Because I knew it would be a big deal.
Yeah. Because the alternative to it was like I was saying this to the girls last time, like it's like the sleazy dudes.
There's so many agencies who are trying to do it, and you just go on there thinking, oh my god.
Yeah. It's just some dudes exploiting again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. That's why when I saw you guys do this, I was like, this is fucking epic.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's all you see is just like in your DMs, and everyone can relate. It's just like all these.
Yeah.
Probably just got out of high school, even like some would be just real young boys just trying to see an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then really have no idea what it's like to be in this industry.
Yeah.
Like there's no agencies who have made by sex workers for sex workers.
Nah. That's crazy, right? Like there isn't. Is that across the board, like even like like is that
overseas?
just like but overseas, but also in like because we were talking about like OnlyFans creators, like at which point do like the big traditional porn stars, have they ever gone off and done things like this, or they just had production companies?
I know Riley Reid has actually her own agency.
Okay.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, she
I
does
didn't know
have
that.
an agency.
Ah, okay, got it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. Is that new as well? Been around for a while?
New.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty new.
Yeah. Did she copy you? No.
I thought that. I didn't think that.
Bloody hell. Give some credit, Riley.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think more women are doing that.
Yeah, okay.
Especially when you know what you're doing and you know how to do it well, you obviously want to like help others, and that's also where I come from. Yeah. That perspective too. Like I know what you're doing wrong. Let me help you.
Yeah, and make them more successful.
Yeah, because I mean, I just have so much knowledge. I don't want to just rest up here and not do anything, because I obviously won't be able to use it. Yeah. Until I won't be able to use it forever. So I've got to have an outlet to like actually keep it going and do something useful with it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about like what's the goals of Thumper? Like, what's your big vision?
Something like this.
Like
I really want, like, one of my goals is to have this kind of space.
Yeah.
To shoot different porn scenes. Like I want to be doing
like
porn.
a proper studio
where we can change the set and just experiment and do different crazy things and just have a space for everyone to come create content, because I know doing it in your house all the time, it's just so uninspiring and it can be hard when you're living with other people, and it actually really does hinder your ability to create content professionally and like all the time because of because being at home, but also being at home is great, being able to work from home, but then you still want the option to have a good space to work.
And I guess like, with everyone who works from home, especially with someone like, I can tell who you are from like your visionary sort of way you're looking, it's pretty lonely working at home too. Like, you know what I mean? Like as in, if you had a space like this, what's the thing, the iron sharpens iron sort of concept of like, you'd bring all these other great creators in. You'd all be
all
better.
bounce off each other. That's what I really love about Thumper, is because creating content, it can be isolating. Because it really is all on you, and it has its pros and cons, of course. But you always like want to be having a good support system and being around other people who create and think like you and do the same thing as you. It really helps. And it really helps everyone else in Thumper, because lots of it's hard to find confidence and to believe in yourself when it's just you. And when you have other people around you motivating you, succeeding and doing cool things, it really does help. You
absolutely.
are your environment. It really does help.
100%, totally agree with that. Like it's like, even watching these guys like interact with each other, my team, like a lot of my team are young, but like they've all grown huge amounts since being in the space. Like maybe the guys who are just here are still in that space, but like watching these, like especially Connor and the guys, like they all push each other. They push each other to be better, even when they don't realize they are. Like a lot of them don't even realize they're doing it. They're just like criticizing or going, "That's really great," or "Have you seen this?" or "Should we try this thing?" And
exactly.
Yeah, and you
it
just
helps. It keeps you thinking.
Yeah,
thinking about things that you wouldn't yourself. It just brings in different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really important when you're trying to expand and keep growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so I want to push you a little further.
Okay.
I want to be your next spin-off moment. So, so you said, yeah, you want a big content creation studio or something like that, but like, tell me about like proper big visions. Like, where are you really going? Like, because that's cool and fun.
Okay.
But you're going to go bigger than that, right?
Okay. So there's not much, like there's not a big porn industry in New Zealand.
Yeah.
There really isn't. Like, you know, all the big porn names, Brazzers and all Vixens, like all that, they're all based in America.
Yep.
And anyone who's wanting to actually like make it big time in this industry would have to move and, you know, go off there. And like, I've thought about moving there, but I don't want to move to America. I don't have to move to America to be like successful and like have a good career and like have that kind of exposure kind of thing. So that's kind of
cool.
My goal with Thumper is like to actually create like a really strong name brand here for people in this industry so that they don't need to move, because I mean I don't really want to move, so I'm like I'll create my own opportunities in this industry here. So like
an alternative to something like Brazzers, just as an example, but New Zealand owned, New Zealand based. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, because there's nothing like it. And
yeah,
I feel like people are just gonna, you know, the people in this industry are just going to keep growing with the way online and social media is going. Like there'll just be way more online sex workers. And, you know, I want to create like an actual good space and hub for that to be able to flourish.
Have people move to New Zealand.
Yeah, have people move to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I feel like New Zealand porn, it has its own thing. Like the American porn, they're doing their own thing, you know, like it's very, you can tell. So I feel like it's just creating a different kind of art with being in New Zealand as well.
It's like all creatives, right? It's like New Zealand rap. You can pick it out as like New Zealand rap or Aussie rap or UK, or like you can tell where it comes from. It's even like I think the same with TikToks. Like you can tell it.
You just tell even from the room.
Well, that's how like when I saw your one or other people's, like even a Luke and that, you didn't even have to hear them speak.
Yeah,
you could just see them dance and be like, "You're from New Zealand."
You can just tell the lights or some. There's somewhere just subconsciously, it's just in our veins. We can just tell.
You can tell like, and even by the way that like subtle things like the way they dress or the way that like people's hairstyles.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it might be, and there's a flavor to it, right?
And that's what gives it its charm.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. I like that. So huge, like proper, like world dominating.
Yeah, exactly.
Porn house. What do you call that? Production company, media company.
Yeah,
it's just a media company.
Yeah,
right?
It is just a media company.
It's just a massive media company.
Yeah.
Do you see like, you know, people who are typically like quite entrepreneurial, like you obviously are, because the way your brain thinks, they like to build stuff, but they like the beginning of the build. And then once it gets established and it's a bit more mature, they often get like, okay, cool, on to the next thing, or try build it bigger or whatever. So do you feel that that's sometimes you as well, or are you just too early in this journey to even know if that's a thing yet, because it's all still exciting?
I'm enjoying this journey.
Yeah.
I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is actually coming into place as it is. And like especially now I feel very comfortable in what I've created so far, and now it's just confirmed that anything that I do like want and see, it will that's possible and can happen and be successful.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And what are you hoping the impact Thumper makes on the industry in 10 years' time?
I really want people to not to respect it. Yeah. I just want people to respect sex work. And obviously not everyone will. Like
no, of course not.
Not everyone will. Yeah. But already I know there's such a shift happening, and it feels really good to see sex work finally be, you know, seen as a viable career. And I want people to actually be able to say, oh, I want to be doing porn, and it's completely fine and completely like normal.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And do you have any things like so for me, for instance, right? Like when we started building this business, it was always like our thing's global domination too, right? Like completely take over the whole world. Media company and creative
agency.
It's
important. Like content creation is so important. Like
it's only going to get more.
Exactly. It's I always think that if you're not utilizing content creation, then you're going to fall behind.
Yeah. So Thumper will take over all the sex worker content creation.
Yeah.
And Attention Seeker will take over all the other content creation.
Yes.
That's more PC friend, family friendly.
Yeah.
What does Jasmine want to do next? Like, what's other things? Like, what's the other interests you have? Because
I
like,
just love traveling.
Yeah.
It's really simple.
Yeah,
I just
travel.
love traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying. I'm flying to LA tomorrow.
Yeah, I remember Stacey saying
Yeah.
to book you in.
Yeah.
So it's just seeing the world.
Seeing the
Yeah.
world. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then having my nice little home base here in New Zealand.
What is
cool.
about it that you like?
Well, it's just what is not to like about traveling? You're like exploring and meeting new people and having new experiences because it's very like the world has so much to offer that New Zealand is it's home, so it's home, always will be home. Yeah, but it is lacking on a lot of things. Especially at my age, want to
experience
party.
new things.
Yeah,
party. Yeah. And do you use that travel to still do like part of your work? Right?
I can do both. Yeah, it's
yeah.
great. I can work wherever and wherever in the world I have friends. So,
do you use it to like in your industry? Like, are you using it to like meet other creators and like create with them? Do you do that as well?
Every opportunity, every single place I go to, I find someone to work with. Yeah. Because that's also fun,
Yeah. Helps, and it's new environment, right? It's like what you're saying before.
You can just go.
I fucking love that. That's so good. When we go to New York later, Ashley, we need to pay for our trip. I need to start my feet finder.
We can
make it happen. Okay, cool. Well, that's awesome. No, honestly, like, I think why I really wanted to interview you when I saw this happen is that, and it was like one of the first people I said, right, like, we need to get Thumper on because I'm fascinated by what you guys do, because you're right, no one's ever done it before. And I've always had a fascination with the sex industry. Like, you're talking about
everyone does. Yeah. Everyone is so fascinated by it. So
like since I was young, and I've told the story before, like my mum always knew. She was like Stan wants to be a porn star. That's all he wants to be. And like it's changed now, but like that's what I was when I was younger, right? To the point where my mum's mate was a lady called Astrid Glitter. Do you know who Astrid Glitter is?
No.
Astrid Glitter. Do you know Astrid Glitter? Okay, you guys are way too young, but have you heard the story? No. Oh, so Astrid Glitter is quite well known in the New Zealand porn industry as like the first female porn director, one of the first in the world.
I think I know her actually.
I
think I met her.
Yeah, okay.
I did.
She made a film called, her first film was John.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I watched it.
Lucky in Lust, Unlucky in Love. I still remember the tagline. It was a gay porno.
And were they like making something on the stove? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
But
I was invited to this Porn Revolution event. And she was there.
She might have been.
We all watched it.
She's New Zealand porn royalty because of how long she's been in the industry.
I definitely met her. Yeah, I met her.
So she's a friend of my mum's, and mum introduced us. She's like, "Oh, Stan, I've got you your first
Small
porn
world.
gig."
Wow.
And I was young at the time. I was like 19 or something like that at the time. And I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, let's fucking go." And then so I got on the call with Astrid. She's like, "Okay, so did your mum tell you it's a gay porno?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay, so I'm not gay." And she's like, "Okay, I know that, but there's a solo scene we need."
Okay.
Which is we just need some dude in the toilet to beat off in the toilet, like. And that's all it needs to be. And I was like,
it.
I was like, "Oh, I could do that. That's fine. That's no worries." So anyway, I went through this whole thing, right? And I met her and she was like, "Okay, I need you to go to acting classes because like you need to know how to perform on camera and blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
And so at that time, I just started seeing this girl and she just blew up. And it just became this whole thing that like I couldn't do it. Because like I probably could have done it. I could have just, in hindsight, I was 19. I could have probably like as if we were going to stay together.
Yeah.
So I probably could have just been like, "Fuck,
yeah,
I'm going to do it anyway."
Oh.
And then what ended up happening is I used to know all the drag queens up at Family really well.
Yeah.
And Miss Robina, who used to be like the head drag queen there, she used to do a lot of gigs as the like maitre d' or whatever, the host. And she's like, "Oh, Stan, I've got this gig for you. Like, I need you to come be a topless waiter for this gig." And I was like, "Oh yeah," she's like $150 an hour. And I'm like a student. I was like, "Fucking yes, let's fucking do this."
Yeah.
And it was like a 4-hour gig. And anyway, I get there and she's like, "Oh, okay, so it's this gay porno release party. It's this move called John." And I was like, "Oh." And then I saw Astrid again and she's like, "Oh, you could have been in this. You could have been up here on the stage with us." And
wait,
then,
so you couldn't do it because of your girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, well, it was my dumb fault,
Aww.
right? Because I could have just told her to fuck off.
Yeah,
because we're not obviously not together anymore.
Yeah.
But it was one of those sliding door moments, right? Like, it was
That's
one of
still
those,
iconic.
Yeah, it was one of those like sliding door moments where like there could have been a gay porno with me in it having beaten off right now, which would have been fucking hilarious. And then there was a second part where she then made a straight one, and it was still the same girlfriend. And then like she rang me up and I was like, I just can't, blah blah blah. We were a bit more serious at that time, but then shortly after we weren't.
I'm sure we can make it happen.
You were almost in it. You're almost in it. So
I mean, these days it's like the desire to become a porn star has completely changed. Like it was like definitely like a young dumb full of something 19-year-old
I
kid.
love the drive though.
Yeah,
I wish more guys had that.
Oh, I think it's awesome. I always thought the industry was amazing. Like I remember watching James Dean interview once. Like you know James Dean, the concept? Yeah, he was like he talked about it how he was the guy when he was young that he was just like I was the guy at parties who would just start doing stuff. And I just remember thinking like I just remember thinking this was why Mum would always say it. She was like I just remember that listening to him interview going, fuck, I could do this. That's me. Like I'm that guy. But I guess my point of it is that like getting right back to the beginning of that story is I think the porn industry and sex workers and stuff is like fascinating. Like I just think it's the oldest profession. It's always been here. It's never going away.
Never going away.
It's
exactly.
never going away.
It's just
like never
getting
going
more.
away.
It's actually oversaturated at the moment.
Humans will not exist before it it stops.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's just never going away.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is literally nothing wrong with it in terms of like what you're producing, except that it was an industry where it was badly run.
It was badly run. That's the thing. It's just badly run, and that's where it gets That's where it gets a really horrible name, and rightly so, because it was just been in the wrong hands. Wrong hands for so long, and I was like, okay, well, porn's getting serious now, guys. Like, porn's actually like taking over the internet, OnlyFans and everything, and I just really wanted to make sure I was setting a good example. For how to run it and actually making sure it's ethical and consensual and everyone's supported, because otherwise I could see like people trying to snatch up girls and trying to make
and just control again
and just exploit, and it's just gross. So
that's the biggest concern I've got at the moment watching this industry unfold is like, because I can't remember the company name, the company that owns all the porn companies. Like what's the one that owns Pornhub and everything else? It's like there's a parent company that sits above it all.
I forgot the name.
They own like most of the porn industry in the traditional porn sense anyway. You know what that's going to be your biggest challenge as you grow, is not getting bought out by these guys. Like, but tell me about it. Like, what if that happens?
Well, that just defeats my whole philosophy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I just wouldn't let it happen, because that would just... Like,
do you think you'd ever sell the business? Like, do you think it'd just be something you hold forever? Because like you'll never be able to dictate what that next person does with Thumper.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the mother. I love Thumper. I feel like I would change roles in Thumper. 100%.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's my baby.
Ownership.
Yeah, it's my baby.
Yeah.
I don't. It's my purpose. Like I really love what I'm doing and what it's doing for others, and I can't really see that happening.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I love that. That's cool. That's great, because like it's a real. That's one of the things I've noticed. Like when I saw you, I thought it was cool, but then I thought, fuck, I wonder how, because money talks, right? Like how, at which point does these stupid numbers get thrown at people, and that's how exploitation happens, because it's like,
oh yeah,
I've got all the money, I'm going to put this ring fence around everything and then hold it. It's like, which is a bit crazy to think of for you at the moment. At what are you now, 21 or something?
Yeah.
It's pretty hard. Anyway, I think it's cool. I think it's pretty great. I wanted to get into, because I know Stacey's going to want me to clip some stuff out of this. So I want to talk about some stuff. I want to hear some of the stories.
Okay.
I want to hear one of the stories that I really want to start with is that you have traveled well.
Yes.
And I want to know, like, who's a creator that you met or you made some scenes with, or whatever it is, that you're just like, like when it was happening, you're like, what is going on?
In a bad way or good way?
Both.
Okay.
You tell me.
Okay.
Like both good or bad. Like it was just like for you in the moment, you're like, holy shit, this is happening.
Okay. Actually, one of the coolest parts that happened to me was that I discovered that I could come from being fingered.
Okay.
And that's never happened to me in my life.
Interesting.
In my whole life.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was impossible.
Yep.
And there was this woman, and we were just doing a scene.
Yeah.
And I just thought it would be, you know, like any other scene.
Yeah.
And she knew what she was doing. Like she was
Yeah.
experienced. And I like
I love that though.
yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was loving
you
it. I
loved
was
it,
actually
yeah.
like in there like in love. I was like
Yeah.
falling in love. And I couldn't believe it. And I was just in shock. I like couldn't speak to anyone for the rest of the day because I was just like, wow, I just discovered something new about myself and my body through this. And it was just I felt like I felt like on top of the world. Like I just unlocked a new level
Unlocked
of
a new
myself.
achievement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And that's something that I never expected to happen.
Yeah.
Like didn't expect, like, you know, I thought I knew everything and like knew what I liked, knew what could happen, knew what couldn't happen. And for that to just happen with like a random person.
Yeah. Unexpectedly,
like,
right?
It was very unexpected. And I feel like that I was like, oh damn, yeah, my job's cool as fuck. Yeah. I love my job.
And like, so I mean, I don't know how much you want to share with me, but like did that then become a thing that like now you just
now we're dating? No.
Yeah, so you guys when's the wedding? No, like, are you like, did you actually unlock that feature in the game of life? And like, now it's just saying,
now I use it. Now I tell everyone this is how you do it. And I show them the video.
That is,
that
is the best. You've got a video of her doing it.
I've got a demonstration.
So you can coach everyone else.
Before our date tonight.
It's a tutorial.
Yeah. Here's a tutorial.
Yeah. We aren't doing the scene unless you study this. That is so good.
Could send them a whole Dropbox link of all my favorite videos, of all my favorite orgasms.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long ago was that like for you? Like, was that early on in the stage or was that quite a recent thing?
Yeah, like a year ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, I say recent, but like you haven't really been doing it that long anyway.
Well, I
only
haven't.
been 3 years.
That's a year ago in the scale of like my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty recent.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Discovering another way you can orgasm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great.
Fuck, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I asked you that question just before, you said good or bad. Was there bad? Was there things that, or was there stuff that was just like,
because if
like,
it's bad, I might have just repressed it. So I might need to, like, seriously, when I think of anything bad happening, I can't think of anything straight away. Like, there's nothing.
Was there anything that's like kind of like cringe or awkward, or like, were there any scenes that just some fucked up funny shit happened that you're like, holy crap?
I would say, shooting with someone and they just weren't hygienic. And then it was traumatizing.
Gross.
Yeah, that was bad. That's probably been a bad situation.
Gross.
Yeah, but
what do you do with it? Do you just stop?
You would,
or did you just go through with it?
because then it's like, then that was just for nothing. Like you got like
such a good employee, just because good at your job. Just got to do it. Today sucks, but fuck, just got to get through this today.
You can't always have good days at work.
Yeah.
You can't always have good days.
Got to have the good and the bad.
Yeah, so I still got the video.
Yeah.
But I haven't worked with him again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been a bad situation. Yeah. Other than that, I can't think of anything that's been really like horrible, like really like didn't want, stop me from working.
You wouldn't keep doing it, right, if you kept getting those sorts of things.
Exactly.
Right?
I think the cool part is just having to feel comfortable with having control over who you're shooting with, basically,
Yeah.
And it kind of, the setting of it's way more casual, I would say, because it's very like, it's just very casual. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me, we were talking off camera at the start. You were telling me about that video that went viral recently of you on the fan.
The fan buzz.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can decide however you want to explain the story, but like you talked about the 5 guys story.
Yeah.
Tell me about that a bit now that we're on camera, however you want to say it. Because that story was fucking crazy. And what and I'll just give some context is that when I watched it, I was like, okay, it's unbelievable. However, it feels like there's an element of truth in it somewhere. But yeah, tell me where that came from.
Okay, so they said to me, okay, just say your craziest story. Yeah. And I honestly couldn't think of like something crazy where it would go viral.
Yeah.
Because this is my one shot. This is my one opportunity. Yeah. This is like the fan bus. I know it's going to be seen by millions of people. So I really had to, make it count. And I just said the most out the gate stuff I could think of. I really wasn't thinking about the repercussions. No. I was just speaking out of my ass. Yeah. And I took inspiration from something that actually happened. Like a group of 5 guys did come over and sleep at my house because they needed somewhere to crash.
Yeah.
But I didn't sleep with all of them.
Yeah.
Let alone they weren't my friends' boyfriends, and there was no cream pieing and no eating.
That was fun.
I know. And you know what? Afterwards, I thought, I hope they don't use that. I was like, oh wait, that was really
That was.
But then it came out and it actually did so well, and I got quite a lot of attention from it and like subscribers. I was like, oh, that was so I'm so glad I said that. Yeah, I killed it. Yeah.
Tell me, like, because we talked about a bit off camera, like you've obviously you've got a real good understanding of what works and what goes viral and what goes branding and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
you really just got to let go of your dignity a little bit.
I mean, you're fucking on camera, so like,
exactly.
Like, you've already given away everything.
Exactly. You've just kind of just got to let go of like this idea of yourself.
Yeah.
That you like want people to have of you.
Yeah.
And just be true to yourself. Like just know that like who you are, and that's really all that matters. Like what everyone else thinks of you is just what they think of you, and you know you can't control that.
Is Jasmine X on these things? Is she a character for you, or like as a part of you, like a heightened version of who you really are? Because like
I don't look like that all the time. Like I'm very like the me that the internet doesn't see is I dress like I dress like such a bum. Like whenever I go out in public, I'm like, I hope no one sees me. Like because I feel like who I am online. Yeah. It's selling a fantasy. Yeah. Obviously I put a lot of love and care into what I create and want to share online. Yeah. But definitely it's quite different to who I would say I am like day-to-day basis. Yeah.
Because it's like we talk about that a lot here, because like there's only so much you have to go all in on something.
100% go hard or go home. Yeah, go hard or go home.
And you can't be that person all the time. It's exactly. On our content, on our attention seeker content, whenever we have the videos that get like 5-10 million views, like with Joni and I going at each other, like it's I mean it's an act. Like we even know, like I turn into Shrek, she turns into Donkey. Yeah. Like, that's our inspiration for those characters. Yeah. Like we decided that early on.
That's so cool.
So like for you, when you're doing that with them, does that like sort of stuff cross your mind, like in terms of like, I've got to get into character here, I'm on the fan band, like I got to go in to go viral to get subs, or just to be, whatever it is? I don't
have moments to myself where I'm like thinking about like switching, but I feel like I know what works and I know what doesn't work, and I know what I have to do to actually get the most out of an opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of like that, like fan van, that particular thing, that particular channel. Yeah. Do you think, like, are you using those channels like purely, like, is that just like a PR for you?
It's good exposure.
Is that how you think about it?
It's a good opportunity. Yeah, it's a really good opportunity.
It's like how the Shortland Street guys get into the Women's Day. Okay. You're going on to fan van?
Yeah.
Like, is that like kind of, is that the way you think of it? Like, it's not just some fun thing to do. It's like, there is an audience I can go steal.
There is an audience I can't reach. Yeah. That I want to be able to reach, and since I'm there, I might as well. Yeah, it's different. It's just like any other industry. Like you just you want to get your name out there. You want to take as many opportunities that comes your way when you can. So yeah.
Creatively for you guys, yourself, what do you, in terms of like, you think about fan van as an example. They've decided to go down this line of like having the van and having the girls in it and doing whatever they do in there and that sort of shit. For you guys, because that's like a creative way of doing something, right? Yeah. A different style. What's some of the creative things that you've done that you've just gone, fuck, that was cool. Like that was real epic that I did that, or that style, or like you pulled it off and you're like, man, that was great. We got to do more of that.
I do that a lot. Yeah. It happens a lot. I'm really proud of a lot of things I create where I'm just, and that's also like fulfilling. Like I really appreciate good cinematography. Yep. Okay. And good photography. Like I feel like that's where my real passion lies. I just love photos. I love taking photos. I love creating photos, videos, and just creating something beautiful. Yeah. And I love it so much. It's so much fun. And so that's why I love what I do, is because I can really like blend it all and, you know, just create cool stuff. Like this is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It was so cool.
Do you, because I saw it was on, I think it was because maybe a Mara story or something. I saw it recently, or maybe it was Stacey's story. You guys were doing some filming that looked, I think it was maybe, there was one of the other creators, maybe, what's this creator's name?
Violet.
There was like a video of her doing, like, did she have something released recently? Anyway, it looked epic, like it was like a movie.
Oh yeah, the one that we did an intro with Sarita, the boyfriend shooting for. Remember? We did like a little.
Oh.
It looked like a movie.
Oh yeah, we make movies. Yeah, we're making movies.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like I get so excited and so happy. And
tell me about that.
Yeah, I just feel so excited to like put it out there, because there's not really many people doing proper scenes like that, and I feel like there's a huge market for it, and it's just also I feel like it's really fun and cool to capture intimate moments that people have like in that way, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah. No, it did look cool. And so do you think like that, I guess was what might lead on from that question, is like, do you see like proper full-on movies being made, or like do you think there's a way of like bridging the gap between what you do and mainstream media? Like how, you know, like you think about like some of like the movies that have been made in recent years that have taken things right to the line.
Yeah.
Like, do you ever see a world where like that happens, where you can take it all the way, but it's a full-on feature film, with full-on porn scenes in them?
Oh, that'd be great. It would just be like really, lots of work.
Would you do something like that?
I'd love to.
Like, does that sort of stuff?
I would love to. That kind of.
Yeah, like that, like because that movie was like one of the first movies that sort of started pushing, even though it wasn't. It wasn't full on porn or anything. But then there was like that one with the, there was a dude on the plane. I can't remember what that movie was called. Anyway, there's a bunch of movies that are starting to push the lines a bit further. Like, do you ever see your company getting fully into that space? Like, or do you?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to. That'd be such a flex to like create something like that cool and high production. Yeah. That'd be really cool. Yeah.
It reminds me of those guys, the Aussie guys who just made a horror film, Rucka Rucka.
Oh, I haven't heard of it.
So Rucka Rucka are like this massive YouTube channel.
Okay.
You could probably bring it up. Rucka Rucka is like RAKA, I think RAKA maybe. Yeah, and they just CK. Yeah, so they're huge. So almost 7 million subs on YouTube.
What?
And they just made a full-on horror film that got sold to A24.
Oh, nice.
And like it's epic. Like if you watch, like just zoom, full screen this and just like get into a little bit of it. Oh no, this isn't the trailer. Nah, this is them talking about it. This is the behind the scenes. But the trailer's like, it's epic. Like it's like what's the guy, Key and Peele? You know the guy Jordan Peele who made the black horror movie where he was like the black guy and it was all the white people.
Yeah.
What's that called again?
Get Out.
Get Out.
Yeah.
It's that level. It's that level of production, like as YouTubers, right?
Wow.
And they just got someone who backed them to do it.
Oh my gosh, good on them. Yeah. That's so
I guess
cool.
what I'm saying is like,
yeah, it's possible.
Go after
it. Yeah, just do it.
Go the fuck after it. But even if you imagine if you just made it like, there's no reason you couldn't make an R18 movie. You might be some stuff that you like.
We did an R18 version of Barbie.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that full photo shoot was about?
Yeah, we also did
You did some films for it.
There's a film for it. Yeah, we full on role played as Barbies and everything.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah. That's cool.
Did it go off because of the hype?
We actually haven't released.
Oh.
So yeah, it's coming out soon.
Oh, there you go. You got to get your Barbie. You got to hurry. You got to lose the hype.
I know.
You got to hurry.
I know.
I already told Ash not to put out a newsletter because Barbie's almost the hype's gone.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen Barbie yet, so.
Oh, so the hype's still.
Yeah, the hype's still there until I see it. Yeah.
And it's still R18 Barbies, so I mean, like it's always.
It's always gonna be like, what?
Is it like when you think of stuff like that and that's creative? Because that's the sort of stuff that for me, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
Taking stuff and doing it.
Yeah.
When you think of that, is it just costume or like I mean, I don't need a full synopsis of the whole film that you made, but like, do you think of it as just like, here's some costume to do a fun scene, or like, is there a deeper level of creativity that you adapt something into
Oh, we
it?
fully like, yeah. I don't know what
Without telling
say.
me everything, just like tell me, like, how did you get into that creatively? Like, how does that flex?
Like, we were dolls. Like,
Ah, got it.
yeah, just you.
Stacey's just been pitching me the last 2 times, just like, guys, get a Thumper account. Like, fucking get on it.
Free subscription.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're probably getting creative in it.
Yeah,
you're
like
probably
making
playing.
it like
Yeah.
is yeah.
Okay.
Making it
I love
as
it.
like
Doesn't want to give too much away.
doing
Just
it
keep
doing
digging in.
a naughty spin on like any aspect we can.
Yeah.
That's what I really like doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really fun process. Like thinking about how we can make like a mundane scenario and like turn it into something sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Now, look, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks
It was
for
really
having
cool.
me.
It was really cool. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.